Hi there, Huskies and Bulldogs. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about things that we get from the earth. All right? First, what I want you to do, I want you to get your binoculars. I want you to pretend, and I want you to look around your home. Look at all the things that you see in your home. I see some clothes in my home. I see there's walls. I see there's some toys. I see there's some furniture. Everything that we have, we get from the earth. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we take from the earth to make our stuff today, okay? And we're going to talk about 5 different groups of things. We're going to talk about how we get water from the earth. We're going to talk about animals and how we use animals. We're going to talk about plants and how we use plants to make things. We're going to talk about something called oil. And then we're going to talk about rocks and metal, okay? So let's start with water, right? We get water out of lakes and rivers, sometimes the ocean, and sometimes it rains from the clouds. Can you think of anything that we use water for? You might want to pause the video and talk with your family about how we use water. I have some ideas. We drink water. We need water to drink. What else? We use water in the bathtub, in the shower to make ourselves clean and to wash our hands. We use water in our toilets. The toilets need water. They wouldn't work if they didn't have water in them. Sometimes we use water to water the plants so the plants will grow. Water is a very important thing that we get from the earth. So it's important that we make sure that the water stays clean, right? We don't want there to be any pollution in the water. Let's move on to another one. Water is one thing that we get from the earth. Another thing that we use from the earth is we use animals. Which animals do you see here? I see a cow. I see a pig. I see lots of pigs, and I see some sheep, all right? We use animals for lots and lots of different things. Can you think of anything that we use animals for? You can talk about it with your family if you like. We use animals for food. What's some food that we get from animals? What food do we get from cows? We get milk from cows. We get hamburgers from cows. We get lots of food from animals. Sometimes we get food from pigs too, all right? But it's not just food. We use animals for other things too. I have something here. Do you know what this is? It's a sweater, but it's not an ordinary sweater. A lot of our sweaters are not made from animals, but this one is made from wool. And wool comes from a sheep. A farmer raised some sheep, shaved their hair off, and used their hair to make some wool. I also have over here some socks that are made from wool. Some socks are not made from wool, but some socks are made from wool. This came from an animal. So we got that from the earth. We got this from one of the animals on the earth, right? Not all the socks. These socks are not made from wool. These socks are made from a plant. Yeah. Oh, here's another thing that came from animals. It's my shoe. My shoe is made from leather, and leather comes from animals too. This is a leather shoe that came from an animal. So animals are a very important thing that we get from the earth, and we use animals to make things. What else do we get from the earth? We get plants from the earth, right? There's some small plants here. Those are some logs that came from a tree. Now, let's pause and see if you can think of anything that we use plants for. Maybe small plants, maybe big plants like trees. You can talk about it with your family if you like. Now, I thought of some things, and I found some things in my home that came from plants. Do you want to see? I found a book. Did you know that books are made out of trees? Because they have paper. And paper comes from trees. So this came from the earth. Someone had to cut down some trees and make it into some paper so that I could get this book. Pretty cool, huh? Oh, here's a little piece of paper. Sometimes we like to draw on paper, right? In order to get paper, we have to take trees from the earth. What else do I have? What's that? It's a pencil. And the pencil is made out of wood. And wood comes from trees. It comes from plants. We get plants from the earth, and we use it to make things like pencils and other things. Pencils come from here. I have a toy. This is a game I like to play with my family. And this game is made out of wood. It came from a tree. It's a wooden game. What else do I have? I have a box. It's empty. There's nothing in it. It's a shoebox. And this shoebox is made out of cardboard, which also comes from trees. We use trees to make lots of things. I found something really big that came from a tree. Do you want to see it? It's a chair, and it's made out of wood. I bet you have some furniture in your home that came from a tree. Look around your home and see if there's any furniture that's made out of wood that came from a tree. Okay, are you ready for the next one? We talked about water we get from the earth, and animals from the earth, and plants, especially trees. Next, we're going to talk about something called oil. Now, oil is really crazy stuff. In order to find oil, you have to dig a hole way down under the ground, and you have to dig in the right place. If I dug under my home, I doubt there would be any oil. I don't know where to find oil, but if you talk to a geologist, a rock scientist, they can help you find a place where you can dig way down under the ground and find some oil. The oil, when it comes out of the ground, is this black stuff, right? And sometimes we put it into barrels like that. We fill up the barrel with oil, and we can use oil to make lots of stuff. Now, one thing that we use oil for that's very important is we put it inside of, what's that? It's a car, right? Now, this is not a real car, this is a toy car. But your real car has oil inside of it. And we use the oil to make gasoline. And the car doesn't work unless you put gasoline in it. Have you ever been to the gas station? Have you ever seen someone in your family put gasoline into the car? That's what makes it go. And gasoline comes from oil, right? And it's not just cars. It's trucks too. Big trucks need oil to make them go. They need gasoline from oil. Even fire trucks, they need that. Airplanes need it too. So oil is very important. We use it for lots of things. You can also use oil to make something. If you want to make something out of plastic, then you're probably going to need some oil. So I looked around my home and I found some things that are made out of plastic. If you want to pause the video, you can go try to find something plastic in your home. Did you find anything made out of plastic? I found some things in my home that are made out of plastic. I found a plastic spoon. This came from oil. Someone took some oil and made it into a plastic spoon. What else did I find? I found a plastic marker. It's made out of plastic. We needed oil. We needed oil from the earth in order to make this plastic marker. What are those? We love Legos, don't we? Legos are made out of plastic, just like just like those other things. So someone had to take oil from the earth and make it into plastic. I found a food container from my kitchen. That's made out of plastic too. It came from oil. Someone took oil from the earth and then made it into some plastic. All right? So we use oil for lots and lots of different things. Right? I want to talk about one more category, one more group of things that we get from the earth, and that is rocks and metal. All right? Sometimes people will dig up rocks from the ground and they will use the rocks to make something. This one's a little trickier, but try looking around your home and see if you can find anything that's made out of rocks. You can pause the video if you like. Did you find anything that's made out of rocks? Did you find anything that's made out of metal? We get metal from inside of special rocks. I found something that's a little bit like a rock. I found a pot in my home. And this pot here is made out of clay. Someone took the dirt from the earth and made this into a clay pot. I also found, I can't pick it up, I can't bring it over here, because I found the outside of my house is made out of bricks. And that came from the earth too. Those are rocks and dirt that came from the earth. All right? Now, if you find just the right rocks, then what you can do is you can take the rocks and you can melt them down and you can make them into some metal. All right? The metal comes out of the rocks. And I found a metal spoon. This one was a plastic spoon. This one was made from oil. But this one came out of some rocks. This one is a metal spoon. Someone took some rocks, melted them down, and then made it into a spoon. So that came from the rocks and the earth. I also found, you know what that is? That's money. That money is made from metal too. That came from the earth. Someone took some rocks, melted them down, and then made them into a circle shape and drew some pictures on it, right? So that came from the earth too. And then I found some scissors, right? My scissors have two parts. They have a metal part and a plastic part, right? So the scissors, in order to make scissors, someone had to take some oil for the plastic, and then someone had to take some rocks and make it into metal so that we could have scissors that have plastic and metal on them, all right? So that's some stuff that we get from the earth, all right? Everything around us comes from the earth. Sometimes it comes from the water. Sometimes we use the animals on the earth. Sometimes we use plants, especially trees. Sometimes we use oil. And sometimes we use rocks and metal that comes from the earth, all right? I hope you had fun learning with me, and I'll talk to you soon, Bulldogs and Huskies. Bye-bye.